Everything's all like reversed. I don't know what's going on here with
That's
our
cool.
new office. Anyways, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Odum and Andrea show. And today, I mean, you probably read the title, I guess. You probably know what's coming. But it's an exciting podcast, a little bit of a special podcast, something a little bit different, but still in the same vein of what we do. So today we're going to talk about some exciting news that today is September 16th. 2022, is that the day? Friday?
I think so.
And it was my last day at work today. And basically, as the title says, I quit my job and
you're an unemployed bum.
Okay, that's not what I was going to say, but yeah, I guess that's what it is. I am an unemployed bum. I no longer have any income coming in. And we've decided to go.
That's not 100% true.
Well, no, but we decided to take the plunge and do what we can and do what we want to do to try to build ourselves our own business, our own sustainable business, so that we can live the life that that we always want to, stuff that we talk about. And it's been really funny because, first we should say that we got this. We don't normally do this.
No. Ever.
Forget about the stuff we were doing like 4 or 5 years ago, which we were. But anyways, we got a little bit of Canadian Club in here with some Coke or Pepsi. So we're just, because it's my last day, we're just going to have one drink and just cheers to our new adventure, I guess, right? And the future. That's a good one. Takes me back to the... Wait, who's listening? Is our parents listening? It takes me back to the days when I was a responsible adult.
I was 19 years old.
Of course, absolutely. So where to begin?
This is your show, dude.
No. Well, it's our show. So I guess maybe we can start like, why am I doing this, or why are we doing this? Really, I do say we because it's a team effort, for you and I, because most of the time I've been working and you've been staying at home with the kids. That's just the split of the responsibilities that we decided that would be best for us and how we want to raise our family and all that kind of jazz. So with me just up and quitting my job and us not having any money, it has to be, we have to communicate to make sure that it's the best thing for us and we're ready to take on that adventure. So I guess maybe fast forward to even like we've been doing this podcast now for, I don't even know how, like, whatever, there's episode number, 25 or ish, whatever.
Something like that,
we've done so at least 20 weeks of just reading books and reading about people that are doing awesome things.
Stuff,
and we always talk at the end. It's like, well, what do you want to do? And what would you like to do in this? And, we always say like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool. But it's been building up inside me of like, we got to do something. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's one thing to talk about people are doing things. It's like, well, like I need to do something as well too, right? And
we want to take what we've been talking about and put it into practice.
Put it into practice, And my, I'm not David Goggins where I'm going to join
Navy SEALs.
The Navy SEALs, although I would love to try, to be honest. But anyway, that's a little bit aside. But this is my adventure. This is my, give it everything that I have to try to make something work to get to where I want to be, to build the life that I want to have. And that's what all these people have done for the most part. It's just about like going through this amazing experience, hard experience, because this is not going to be easy. This is going to be really, really difficult. But it's just, it had that spark and it's like, I got to do something. And this is it, and there's reasons for doing that. I think I have some notes here. There's kind of 3 main reasons as to why it's like really important to me. The first one, we've talked a lot about this, and these aren't in order of like importance or whatever. But the first thing is about financial freedom. And it's not because I want to be this gazillionaire that has all kinds of money because I just want money. Of course, if I had $1 gazillion, that would be cool. And I'm not going to say no. But what I really want is the freedom aspect of to be able to do whatever I want, when I want, and really where I want. And that's something that it's always, I don't know, it's just always been something that I've always wanted.
You've always been the kind of person where like you're good at whatever job you go to. You're always you always do phenomenal. But the problem is like you don't do well with like authority, because I think you always know how to do it better, which is and you usually do. But I think that's one thing. Like you always want to, you just are always a leader, and I think it's hard to have to like fit, and I think it's hard for you to kind of fit into like that a box that you have to kind of fit in at work.
It could be. Yeah, I mean sometimes it is hard. Some jobs are worse than others.
100%.
I mean, this job I'd probably say is probably the best one.
I was going to say you've had a lot of autonomy with.
Oh
this
yeah,
position,
absolutely.
so,
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which made it even a little bit more of a difficult decision, especially after a day today.
Yeah.
Today was just it was just really great because we went out for lunch.
Yeah.
And I think it was about like 15 or 16. I don't know.
That's
It was
awesome.
quite a few people within our group and other groups and stuff, and just coming together, just having a nice meal and just chatting. And then it's also nice too because, you know, here in Canada and the lockdowns and stuff and coming out and the restrictions lifting, it was just nice to get out.
And see people.
With our colleagues too, because we're all mostly working remotely.
Yes.
So it was really nice. And I was like, it's kind of hard to leave a little bit because it was just so much fun, and they're just all really great people.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is too, like, I do like having a vision and having a direction and being like, okay, let's all work towards getting that. And like, I do like calling the shots. Like, I won't lie. I guess that is my,
calling the shots. I feel like that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
That's what I was
but
trying
it
to
is
say.
leadership, and it is, you know, wanting to do something that is true to me and true to my heart, and being able to follow that passion. And then, you know, hopefully if anybody wants to follow me or whatever, then great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely, that is a big part of it. But then there's also the aspect of like how I like to work and how I like to do things.
Yes.
And this will lead into what I want. Another thing is focusing on my health and fitness.
100%.
So I've been finding that I've just been having a really hard time. I don't even know if it's because working from home all the time, or it's the blur between work life and home life is like, it's blurred. Yeah. And then I find like I'm spending more time just sitting down, not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And even when I was working, either I was biking into work or even just walking in. I purposely park far, so I'd have to walk 15 minutes just to get to the office. You know, I'm not getting the activity that I need and that I used to. And it's like my back is, you know, it's not as worse as it's ever been, but it's like, it's not doing as great as it was before. Yeah. So I just really need to get back to being active, and going back to about being able to work when I want, whenever I want, is that now I could, like, there's hockey at noon, noon hour. So I can go play that. Or there's all these things, you know, if I just feel like, you know, my back is hurting or whatever, it's like, you know, I could just take a couple hours and do a stretching session or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can kind of do that now, but then it's like, well, if I do that now, then I'm going to have to make up the time later on in the evening, and then we got other stuff. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's just that mental thing of just, just having that freedom to do whatever I want. But that being said too, it's like, I know this is actually going to be, because it's going to be so hard. It's going to be like, when you want to, if you want to build a business, like a real business that's going to have employees or whatever, like, you got to put in like 80 hours a week. You know, like I'm saying this, but I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to have to balance everything. Yes. Right. Yeah. So yeah. And the last thing, so health and then financial freedom, and it's about doing work that just really, really is meaningful and inspiring for me.
It's purposeful.
Exactly. Yeah. We talk about that. So I like dealing, like, specifically with people, having contact with people, and the stuff that I was doing was, you know, it's meaningful work, but I guess for me, it's really detached from actually seeing how it can impact an individual. But if I can do a business where I'm talking to people one-on-one, and I could do something for them, and I could see right there in their eyes or whatever the value that I could bring to them, and seeing how I can help them in their life or their business or whatever. Yes. That's really impactful for me, and that's what I want to get. I want to get back to being able to interact with people on a one-to-one or whatever the basis it is. Absolutely. To be able to have those connections and those interactions with people. So those are the three things that really led to me wanting to do this, and, you know, for us wanting to do this. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to add to any of that?
We don't have to get into it, and probably don't want to talk about it, but I really think it's important. One of the reasons for me for us to be sustainable is if there's requirements in the job, in any job, if there's requirements, not having to be beholden to those requirements.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not coming out right out and saying it, but
No, yeah. No, it's a thing too. Yeah. I mean,
it's something that it was a little bit, some things were not awesome there last year. So it's being able to be in charge of our own destiny and not being beholden to other people, and being able to make our own decisions.
Yeah. And even to say things even in a more broader sense is that, you know, if you have a job and you're working for somebody else, I mean, it used to be back in the day, you can go at a company and you know you're going to work there for 40 years, get a good pension and whatever. But nowadays, like,
it's not like that.
Do you get that kind of stuff? I mean, people are leaving as well too, which is fine too, because people leave a job usually to get a better salary and they just keep climbing up. So, you know, no problem with that. But companies go in and out of business all the time as well too. So it could very easily be that, oh, well, I could lose a job in 6 months because there's no more funding or whatever, or there's a change in government, and then all of a sudden that department's not funded anymore, depending because of the research space that I'm in.
And I was going to say, especially based in academia, which is for most of your career, that's where you worked. Has always been soft money, where it's contract to contract. It's
I mean, a lot of people
to grant.
Yeah, a lot of people make their careers that way, which is fine, and it's definitely doable. But it's just that undue stress of not knowing, like, am I going to get another contract? What's going to happen? You know. Obviously, you could try to mitigate that by being a good worker, and people want to get you, and you know, if there's shuffle you around to different departments or whatever, which happens. But it's just it's being in charge of your own destiny, really, 100%, right? So that just rolls up into stuff. No, absolutely. That's really important. That's a thing I think for a lot of people. Job security is something that, you know, it's like almost not the holy grail, but it's one of the most important things. I think people would rather sacrifice a little bit of money for job security to know that job is going to be there in 10 years or whatever. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I want to talk about a little bit about maybe when we started thinking about this and to when it actually happened. So, you know, I gave my notice 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks and a little bit ago. Yeah. And so, but I've been thinking about this seriously, because I've been thinking about this since I've been born. No, but I've been thinking about this seriously in terms of, you know, quitting this job and going full time into trying to build a business. Probably about 2 months ago, like at the almost.
Okay. Let's no.
What?
So we have been talking about you going off on your own and doing your own thing for years.
Right. I guess I'm just saying, no, I know that. That's what I mean. I've been thinking about this for forever. But I mean, like, seriously thinking and planning in my head how this is actually going to
play out. I understand. So, but what I'm saying is, like, I've wanted you to. I've been encouraging you for years because you always talk about doing it. And it's just like, you're finally doing it. We're finally doing it. And it's not that you just didn't want to. It's just like we're finally in like a really good position right now that everything makes sense for you to do it now. Right.
And we're gonna talk about all these details are gonna be played out, because I'm just gonna touch base
on a couple things.
Here in a little bit about how this is gonna work logistically. How does this work, like, logistically? Sorry, you haven't seen this movie Crazy Stupid Love? It's hilarious.
So good.
It's the scene where you know, spoilers, whatever, but was it Emma, what's her name? Emma Stone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, right? So they're the main, actually not the main, but anyways, they're a couple, and they're getting together in the room, and they're gonna, like, you know, she's like really nervous because she has, you know, whatever, and then she's just like, oh my God, how does this work? Like, logistically. It's like, do we just bang? Like, how does this work? Anyway, so we talk movie quotes all the time.
So why don't you even just say, like, what kind of business are you doing?
No. Well, hang on. So we'll get to that. We'll slow it down. Slow it down. So at the beginning of the summer, I think, is when I really started seriously kind of figuring this out and, like, actually crunching the numbers and making sure whatever would work. Yeah. But it happened fairly quickly, though, because I think what I did was I told you, and because I know you've been we've been talking about all the time, but like when it's actually like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. What do you think? And it's like, oh shit, I actually have to really think about this. So I think I told you, and you're like, then you're like, I can see right away. You're like, nope, this ain't gonna happen.
Well,
I need my money.
But that's
I need no, not that, not in that way.
So-
I know you're the least materialistic person. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying. We need
But
money to live,
but
right?
you know me. This is how like we're very different. Is like you make a decision, you're like that. I need some time. I always tell you, I need
Right.
time to simmer. I need time to percolate.
I understand.
Let me figure it out. Let
And
me get used to this idea.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like it's not even that I make a decision, I'm ready to go, but it's
Mhm.
also my risk tolerance
Yours way better, higher
is
than mine.
I don't think I have an off switch for risk tolerance, at least in terms
You
of
don't.
like life. I have risk tolerance for like
And this is why we work,
skydiving or
and
whatever,
this
but
is why we work well together because my risk tolerance
it's
is
like
like
zero. Like, you know, it's like, are we going out of the room today? But we're not. What if I sprain my foot on the way off the bed? It's like, well, you're just gonna have to take the chance. Right? Yeah. So I
So
told you,
anyway,
and then for real, I'm like, this is what.
reals.
And then you're like, oh, okay, need to think about it, whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So then, of course, the next day, I take out my spreadsheets. I'm like, this is logistically, logistically, this is how it's gonna work. Okay, this is
Yeah.
how much money we have.
Yeah.
Follow the
Yeah,
columns,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, and then I think it was just, and I think even that day, you're like, yeah, I think it's gonna go.
And it's really funny because it's actually like I literally had like no stress about it, like no worry about it. I'm just like, oh, finally.
No, I was shocked. I was like, oh man, we're gonna
That's gonna be a
fight
fight
about
over
no,
this
not
one.
a fight, but like it's like I'm
That's
gonna have
be
to
a struggle. I'll have to do
what do-
some good convincing.
What am I gonna have to do now? Like who? What am I? All right, let's keep it clean. I was like, what's gonna have to happen here?
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
Yeah,
damn,
it's
that was easy. But then it
you
was,
wore me down.
but it was no, it was so quick. But I think though what was funny is that I still for like I think the next week
You're just waiting.
I was just like, you still okay? What do you think?
When's the other shoe gonna drop here?
How's
When are you gonna lose your shit?
how are you feeling? I'm like, I didn't tell work yet. What are your thoughts? And you're like, it's still good. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell them on Friday. Are you okay with this? No, still okay. So
Yeah.
but it was good, and then it came, and now we're just super excited, super pumped
The
up.
kids are even like so excited.
The kids are excited, yeah, too, because again, it's the idea where it's like they have free skating every day,
I
or
know.
is it every day? Whatever at the
Yeah,
rink,
and
just
an
here,
hour, yeah.
and it's I
Yeah.
think it's at 3:00. Well, whatever time it is,
Yeah.
and I could go because I'm not at work, right? So
Well, and I think it's just also, again, one of the other really important reasons for you to do this is it's modeling to them, right? Like it's modeling to them to take control of your life. If there's something that you're not 100% happy
Mhm.
with, or there's a direction that you feel that you need to go in your life,
Right.
like then you just need to freaking do it,
right,
regardless of whatever it is.
Right.
So, yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. So I mean that's the process. It was just like, okay, we have this much money, we can sustain ourselves for this long, assuming we make no money in between that. Like, what's the
Mhm.
absolute minimum? How
Yeah.
long can we go to do this?
Yep.
And we were comfortable with that time frame, and then all right, well, let's do it.
Well, and I also think what's important is, like there's so many contingencies in place.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
there's like so many like plans and everything.
Oh,
and,
right. Yeah.
You know, and if we have like a date for when, if things are not going well, this is when you need to start looking for a
Right,
job.
exactly.
Or I'll go out and get a job.
Right. And that's what we said. It's like, what's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
I mean, like worst case scenario is like I die without a job and you like whatever.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
worst case scenario is like I have to go back and look for another job.
Yeah.
Like that's not that bad of a job, or not bad a job.
No,
That's not that bad of
but
a
an
worst case
option.
scenario.
Yeah, of
Unless
course.
for whatever reason the job market is just turned
Shit.
to complete garbage. But then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well then what skills do I need to learn
Yeah.
in order to get myself a job? Which again, not bragging or anything, but I have lots of skills in lots of different areas too,
Yeah, well, of course.
which is a good thing and a bad thing. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But speaking of like the actual business and everything that we're going to be doing, that's going to come later.
Okay.
But in terms of later, not that later, because what I'm going to be doing, and I'm super excited for this, is that I'm going to create a live stream or start doing a live stream, and it's going to be all about live streaming starting this business
Yes.
and then building a business and hopefully building a successful business. And my whole vision in my head, it's like, I think this is going to be like amazing. My whole vision is that there's like, you know, hundreds of hours of this live stream or this thing of like, literally you can sit down by somebody who had nothing and then built a business that's, you know, not just building like a 7-figure business, and it's all there, you know, because I've seen so many videos on YouTube where it's like, hey, you know, I was a kid and now I'm 25 and I could drive all these cars and I built business. That's great. No, I love hearing those stories, and they do, it's like a 10-minute long video, but it's like, okay, you're just like, how do you do that? Right? What are those? It's like, oh, well, you need to do this when your business. It's like, well, okay, well, how do you take that action or that, what is it, that like advice or whatever, and make it actionable? How can you actually do it in your day to day? And what's it like building a business, right? So,
well, and I think it's, it'll be cool for people to be able to follow along and to be able to really be cool to see like any, like, hopefully you don't make too many mistakes.
I guarantee you I'll be making mistakes.
But no, like seeing, like recognizing, and then like how do I not do that again, or how do I learn from it? What do I learn from this and that? So I think that's going to be super valuable. So
there's two reasons why I don't want to do that. Number one, because again, think of it in 2 years from now, having this amazing library or resource for people to be able to take.
Yes.
Because like everyone should start their own business, because it's amazing to like work for yourself and to be self-sufficient. Like, it's amazing. You go live anywhere you want.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But the second thing is to open myself up to learning from people that know more than me.
Yeah.
Because I think that's vastly important. And I think that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most, is getting myself out there and engaging with people that have started businesses, run successful businesses, talking to other people, you know, maybe starting up some podcasts of talking to other entrepreneurs around the region. Like all these kinds of options and opportunities are available, and I just want to soak it all in. And there's a lot of things that I've heard about and people talk about, and I've heard about this before. It's like, when you have a business, you can work on your business or you can work in your business. And for me, I'm really looking forward to finally like working on my business, because I think one of the mistakes I've always made in the past is I've always worked in my business, where it's like, oh, well, the business needs a website, so I'll make a website, and that's my niche or whatever, and then I just focus on that as opposed to focusing on the business. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, is doing that, and then you can just hire other people or contract other people to do all the whatever work, right? I
really like that distinction, and I think that's a really important distinction.
It's huge. It's huge. And that's the difference for what I'm thinking, is the difference between an actual business and just being like a freelancer. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to just be a freelancer, because I don't want to have to. It's like the same thing.
You're just chasing work all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to trade time for money at the end of the day, and that's what a freelancer does. You trade time for money, and that's what I don't want to build. Right. So, if you're listening, like, I would love, number one, to hear your advice, and here, like I said, live streaming. I'm going to build the business from scratch, and we're all going to do, it's like, we're going to do this together. We're all going to build the business together. Super excited, super pumped. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm just excited to get going. So there's so much to do. We got this new studio space here. It's a little bit of a mess here. So, well, I guess you can't really see it, but
thank goodness.
But yeah. So
but just the wall, the wall's not finished. But it's looking really good.
Yeah, it's looking good. So we have like the podcast space and then a live stream space. Gotta get all sorted out. So this place is going to be like the hub of activity. It's going to be awesome. So I'm super excited.
I know. I can tell. Your energy when you came home from work tonight was just like,
even though I'm like
so high.
I'm just like, I'm still full from that meal. It was so good.
That's all right. Or lunch.
But I'm so pumped. And I feel like, because I've started businesses.
Yeah.
A lot. This is like what, number 5?
I've lost count.
Yeah. So, but I feel like I've learned a lot from all the other ones, because they've all made different freaking mistakes.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I think
this time.
Yeah. No. Well, but first you don't succeed, and try again. I think I've learned enough to kind of at least get me to where I need to be. Like, I'm not saying I know how to make a 7-figure business like that.
No, but
it's like, I think I know how to make something that at least could be sustainable enough for us to just kind of go beyond the paltry number that we have right now, right? of what we can do this for and how long we can sustain this for. So, but I'm interested. I'm interested to hear, just other people and like what their risk tolerance are. It's like, hey, well, we have this much money in the bank, and this is it. This is everything that we have. Would you do this? People would be like, hell no, because like comfortable job, like benefits, no pension, but like retirement matching plan. Making $90K. It's not bad. And a lot of people be like, are you crazy? Because then it'd be like, well, why don't you just do that and just do your stuff on the side too, right? I already alluded for me why it doesn't work for me, or why it hasn't worked for me in the past. So, because I want to really focus on doing something. So,
well, and it's your health, like that. You can't do those two things at once. Like you just can't.
Right.
Physically, you can't.
Right. Well, again, it's like I said, it's weird because I'm going to be putting in just as much time, but I need to figure out how to make it really work so that I am focusing on my health. Number one priority.
You can set up your own parameters.
Right.
So
exactly. That's where it's a little bit easier.
Yeah. Exactly.
So.
Yeah. No, it's really exciting. I'm so excited. Like I said, like I'm just surprised. Like my stress level is like 0.
Yeah.
So, which is very atypical for me.
Well, no, but it's too, we're always worried about like, let me worry about the money and you worry about making sure our kids are educated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And,
we
meet in the middle and
absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pumped.
I know. Me too.
Ready to do this?
I'm so psyched. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
But I'm even psyched about all like the taxes stuff. I met with
you and taxes.
Oh, I met with my accountant, and I'd love to have her on the show, and
that'd be cool.
Or just even if she wants to come on a live stream or something. I'm just thinking
really,
of all these
really
cool things to do.
That'd be really cool.
And just be like, I don't know, just talk. I'm like, I love taxes. I said straight up to her. I was like, okay, I don't want to pay any taxes. I don't care what government it is. I know how to spend my money way better than they do. I want to pay as minimal as possible. Yeah. That's my goal. That's my objective. So what do we need to do to make that happen? Right. So, but I said, legally, of course, legally, we'll do this.
Can you cook my books? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's funny. How do I buy a Ferrari
for free? Well, you can. It's not for free, but the company buys it. No. And then you don't have to pay. Then we can just drive it around.
It's like the last thing I want.
No, but I just...
Yeah, no.
I don't want a Ferrari. It's a Lamborghini, please. Please.
Oh, you can't fit dogs in a Ferrari. No. It's like the pinnacle of my life. I just want a large enough vehicle to fit dogs.
You want that new Ford?
Yes.
Have you seen the electric truck one?
No.
It's just this weird, it's this monstrosity thing. It looks awesome.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Anyways.
How many dogs can I fit?
Well, we'll have to make a thing like, when can we get a dog? Well, we know when we get a dog. So this is another thing too, is one of the things that we want to do after this is I want to buy land.
Yep.
And I want to learn how to homestead, and I want to build a house.
Yes. No, me too.
And just get ready for the apocalypse. It's coming, folks. I don't know what's going on.
Shit's about to get real.
Well, I was telling you the other day, it's like when I have these videos pop up in my YouTube feed that are like, how to grow your own food so you don't starve. I'm like, oh shit. Why is this popping up? What's going on? And the next thing, it's like, oh, Dutch farmers are crazy. They're spraying manure into the... It's like,
damn it.
Food shortages. You hear like stuff in the Europe's like they don't have any heat for the winter. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on?
Is this 2022 or 1920? 1922.
I was like, what's going on? Like, all right, like, I guess I gotta learn how to grow my own food. It's like, yeah. So no, but anyways, I've always wanted to have my house and build a house. And have a place on a lake and all that kind of stuff. So that's, and I said, and we talk about this before. It's like, well, imagine I just work this job like for forever. Get whatever raises I get as like, we'll never get it. I'll never get ahead. We'll just won't because I work and you don't work, which that's we want it. We want because you don't work. So what the fuck happened with that past 10 years? No wonder. No, but so we don't have the two incomes. Like if we were both making $90,000 a year, then that'd be okay. We'd
really good.
We'd have like all that extra salary would be just fun money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's fine. But so we just know that, okay, well, 40 years old, like I can't retire ever right now because there's not going to be very much. So we got to do something. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Right. So, and just in terms of that, it's like, I might as well, there was a quote too. It's like, I think it was from Jim Carrey talking about his dad. And he's like, I was like, my dad was like a salesman for whatever many years. And I don't know if it was salesman, whatever. It was whatever for like 40 years. And he said, you know, I died, you know, I spent all my life doing something that I didn't love and I failed because he ended up like getting fired or something like that, at whatever. It's like something like you might as well want to try something that you love to fail than doing something that you hate and then still fail anyways, right? So at least fail at something you love and then have to do something that you
at least
whatever,
you tried.
right? Exactly. It's this kind of thing, exactly, right? And you hear those stories. I think his story was like he like wrote a check of like $1 million and like carried it around with him or whatever, so he could be like, this is what I want to be worth or something. You know what I mean? It's like this is before Jim Carrey, of course. Everyone knows how talented and how awesome that guy is. Well, I mean, you could have your own opinions on him. I don't know. I love his stuff. He's just Ace Ventura, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, that's what's up. I just want to get started. But anyways, this weekend is all about getting the studio set up and in terms of when the live stream is going to be, it's probably going to take me a week and a half to get things all sorted out and figured out. But we'll be in touch, and we're going to be focusing a lot, like I said, a lot on that one, building a business thing, but also on this podcast itself as well too. We want to figure out how we're going to expand it or just keep going where we're going. And I'd love to we'd love to talk to like actual people instead of just you and me talking. I mean, I love you. Love talking to you and everything. But it'd be great to talk to
actual people.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. So, but it's good too. I like the idea of two people reading a book and talking about that and seeing a boot and then seeing, you know, what can we pull from it and all that. Like I like that angle. So I think it's been working out very well. I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying listening to it. But also having guests and whatever would be really cool too. So
absolutely.
I'll have to figure out how we can work that out. But yeah, I'd love to take this show on the road.
Oh, it'd be so much fun.
Imagine getting like an RV for like a year.
Just traveling around across, and interviewing people.
Just interviewing just really, people really and talking to people. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Seeing the country. Yeah,
absolutely. Anyways, awesome. So many possibilities.
Sky is the limit now.
The sky is the limit.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So
looking
forward to it.
Cool. Chris by 5.
Do you want to do that? Yeah.
Sure do.
That was good.
That was a good one.
You're like a pro now.
I'm a pro. I know.
I'm going to finish this.
Not in one shot.
Well, I didn't want to have an accident.
How old are you?
I'm still like that hamburger.
Oh, that's a lot. It's a lot of meat.
Not only that, like I usually don't eat lunch, right? So, and it was like there was appetizers, cauliflower poppers, and then the chicken wings, and the burger, the fries.
Was the barbecue sauce good?
Yeah, because I had a couple different barbecue sauces. With the
I wanted to ask you because I saw the different barbecue sauces. I was like, oh, shut up. That looks so good.
Yeah, they came in with the wings and they had like these 4 different barbecues. But the thing was, it was like, this is like Kentucky and Illinois or South
like
Carolina,
Louisiana,
whatever.
Mississippi.
But I'm just like, yo, I don't know what that means though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that means in terms of what the sauce is going to taste like.
I think they all have like their own special kind of flavors and stuff. How they do.
Well, obviously, but does that mean like does Louisiana mean it's like a hot sauce, and does Kentucky means it's more of a hickory? Like I don't know.
I don't know how
like
that
just tell me what the hell it is, so I know.
You're supposed to know.
Yeah, it's like you label a juice like, well, this is Oklahoma. It's like, what the hell is it? Okay, that's great. What the hell's in this juice? Like I kind of need to know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
cool.
This has nothing to do with anything.
It does not.
So probably means it's time to wrap this up.
Yes.
But anyways. Looking forward to the future.
Yes.
Looking forward to talking to you guys, seeing you in person, coming in on some live streams, Zoom sessions, all the fun stuff that we're going to have.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. But until then, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
If you love what we do, check us out, odumandandrea.com. Lots of stuff coming up, and
see you next week.
Sounds good.